You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring D'Angelo Williams and Gary Barnage. You push play and they'll push the limits.
It's your boy Tom here, and we are back with another episode of the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast. Fellas, I don't know about y'all, but it is nice and snowy down here in Texas. How was y'all's weekend?
Mine was normal. Didn't really do much. So it's been raining here, so that's no fun. And I know D has a good little story for his weekend.
Always.
Yeah, it was shocking, Gary, that you didn't do anything considering last week you was ghost hunting.
Yeah,
And
no, but I am
so
setting
nor-
some stuff up. I am setting some stuff up for ghost hunting, so I'm actually looking forward to getting all that stuff going.
WPS. So I'll let you know how my weekend went. So obviously I got a puppy last week, and it has been quite the feat. I could tell you this, because I hadn't had a puppy in like 17 years because we lost our last dog. We had 4 dogs. We raised them up from puppies, and it's been a very long time since I've had a puppy. So I've been Googling everything, and in the course of me Googling everything, it let me know that I raised my other 4 dogs the wrong way, based off of what the Google results that I got. I was one of those that when a dog peeps or pee or poops in the house, you take his nose, you put it in it, and you spank him, and then you put him outside. I'm the old school. That was my old school way. And I was like, when we get this new puppy, I'm gonna treat him the way that the Google or the internet tell me I need to treat him. Maybe it'll be something different that had transpired. But I had no problems out of my other 4 dogs. We didn't have any issues. We didn't fight. He wasn't aggressive, like none of that stuff. In terms of how I discipline. So even with that being said, I'm like, look, I want to get with the times because I want to be a better me, and I want my dog or my pet to be a better pet too. So as a result of that, I'm going by like the rules of what they tell you through Google, not to spank them or hit them or get mad at them. That's been a very tough feat for me because I'll take him outside, he'll pee and poop, and then he'll come back inside, and then he'll pee again. And I'm like, dude, you was just outside for 30 minutes, bro. You was playing with sticks, you was running around, and I told you to use the bathroom. And again, some of the people that are out there that are probably pet lovers or people that teach pets are like, man, you're doing it all wrong. You're doing it this way. You're doing it that way. I'm just going by what Google say. Okay. I don't feel like I need to pay for my pet to be, to go through something that I could do myself. So, I'm trying to do it myself. So I guess my question to you guys, from this weekend is how did you used to discipline your pets, if you did at all, or do you just kind of let your dog or your pet or your animal just do whatever the hell they want to until it's time for you to step in and correct them?
Well, I've had so many dogs in my life.
Yeah.
For me, it's more like you just raise your voice if you catch them in the act, so they know that's a bad thing, and then you take them straight outside. So if you catch them in the act, you literally, if they're in the middle of pooping, you pick them up, bring them outside, because they need to know they need to go outside. I don't ever believe in hitting, but I also did crate training. So you put them in the crate, and they're not going to want to poop while they're sleeping. So you do that for the start, and you make sure they're learning, hey, you don't poop it, and then you make it a bigger area. You encase a bigger area, and then you eventually open your whole house, and they realize, hey, we always go outside, always go outside. And then you make sure they let them know, hey, I'm gonna let you know I need to go outside. Scratch on the door, something to show they need to go outside.
How long is that process, Gary?
It could take a few months.
Dude, I was looking at something online where they said you can potty train your pet in 6 days. That, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, is a lie. I don't give a damn. He's 8 weeks old. There's no way in hell you could tell me that you could potty train a dog where they're exclusively only going outside. But what you got for me, John?
Yeah, so I will tell you from my perspective, because I've not had a puppy in a very long time, but I think it kind of correlates to what you're talking about is, so, we just had the baby not too long ago. He's 10 months old right now. And so I feel like we've done a lot of Google searching on things to help raise him. And it's so funny because like when my mom will come around and like watch him, and some of the stuff she'll do, and I'm like, oh no, like Google says such and such, you ain't supposed to do this, do that. She goes, well, you survived, didn't you? So it's so funny to hear like the difference, because Google just allows you to have so much access to information. And sometimes that can be a good thing, sometimes that can be a bad thing, because sometimes you like over stress what you've read online. But sometimes, like one of the big things for us that Cynthia found was like the baby led weaning stuff, which is where the baby learns to eat on their own, and they eat like the same food you're eating. Well, to me, somebody that's watched other people raise babies and seen them like feed them baby food out of a jar, and so I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, let's do this how we're supposed to do it. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get a little baby food, feed them a little spoon, do a little airplane into the mouth. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I've been ready. I've been waiting for this. But we did what she wanted to, obviously. And so we did the whole baby led weaning stuff. And it actually is a lot better afterwards, because now, at 10 months old, he can sit there and feed himself. We don't have to, it's messier, but we don't have to sit there and like feed him with a spoon, and like, it's just, and he's like he's not a picky eater, because he's eating everything and anything and everything. And so it's been a really cool process, even though I wouldn't have thought in the beginning that is something we should do, because it's like, oh no, that's not the traditional way. That's not how it's been done. Why are you trying to do this? But that's what I would say. It's like, I think that some of the stuff they put online can be helpful, but also like when it comes to the spanking thing, I might have to lower my voice because she's in the other room. I don't know if I feel like, spanking or disciplining a child is going to be a very slippery slope when it comes to this. And, it crosses over to dogs too, because obviously,
Right.
you think like hitting, spanking a dog is how they learn, because, you don't you don't know if they're able to understand other forms of punishment necessarily, but they can understand, ow, that hurts. I don't want to do that again. So I don't know. It's an interesting question. And I know people love their dogs, so that's definitely going to get the folks riled up.
Yeah. So this is the I typed in, does hitting your dog to discipline them does anything from a long-term effect? And this is what I understood, which makes a lot of sense to me, but I didn't think about it. So a dog, if you discipline them, every time you want to correct them, you cause pain. Well, whenever that dog want to correct a human or a child, they're going to cause pain. So then they'll nip at that kid, or potentially bite that kid or bite that person, because they're telling them like, hey man, I told you to stop a few times. You didn't stop. So now they're causing pain because that's what they're used to. I was like, I never thought about it like that. So I don't want, but then again, though, that doesn't stop your dog from biting anybody either. If they don't like that person, they just gonna bite that person regardless. It doesn't matter. So again, it is a very slippery slope when it comes to how do you discipline your animal or your child, because different folks come from different backgrounds. And if you can achieve the same goal that I achieve without having any trauma or mental meltdown or anything like that that's associated with the discipline you received growing up, then I'm all for it. But if there's going to be like PTSD type symptoms or something like that from your past on how you was raised or how you was disciplined, then I got to object to that. I got a problem with that. So again, I don't want anybody out there beating their animal or discipline their animal by putting their hand on them. But again, if that's effective for you and there's no long standing issues or problems, then by all means, discipline your animal or child however you feel fit to discipline them.
Well, I think the biggest thing with dogs is dogs can't talk. So even like kids, when they get 5 and 6, they can actually talk and you can actually explain things and they understand. Dogs don't really understand you. They understand certain words at times. So it's a whole nother level, I think, with kids. I think you can have discipline. You can have a little light spank or something like that. Because to me, that actually works versus just saying, no, don't do that. Okay, kid's not going to listen to that. They don't care as much about that. A light spank, they don't want to get light spanked. Dogs, they can't verbalize anything besides bark. And then they might see that as an aggressive manner of you hitting them. So that's when they might snap at you because of that.
Right.
So I think it's a whole nother level when you're comparing the dogs versus kids. But I think to me, it's easier to discipline a kid by a light spank than it is to light spank a dog, because a dog might think you're just trying to play with it then. especially if it's a light spank. To me, if you're going to discipline a dog and you're going to hit it in some way, you have to do it hard, and then that's too much. You should never do that, because a light spank, like if I tap my dog on the butt, he thinks I'm playing with him. He's ready to play, and I do it all the time, just playing with them. So I know how he is. I don't ever spank my dog, but I'll hit him on the back, just messing with him, and he'll get ready to play. He knows it's playtime. So it's hard. I think you can't discipline a dog by hitting. I don't think that works. I think it's more by raising your voice, because they respond to that. They respond to the raising the voice or the no. The kids don't. Kids don't really respond to that. So I think that's the biggest difference between the two.
Okay. So because you're a dog owner, Gary, you've been a dog owner for quite some time. And Tom, I don't know if you're a dog owner or plan on being a dog owner or a pet owner, a cat or a squirrel or hippopotamus, whatever your choice of animal is that you want to either rescue or that you want to own. You could be Joe Exotic over there. You could be Tom Exotic, in Dallas, and have, tigers and lions and big cats, whatever the case, whatever your choice of animal it is. When you have company over your house, do you leave your animal out, or do you put them up out of respect for the people that are visiting your house? I'll tell you where I stand on this. I'm going to put my dog up. When I first got my puppy, one of my friends' wives was like, hey, man, make sure you socialize that dog. And I was like, socializing? What do you mean? It was like, make sure, that dog is around people, and make sure that dog is around other dogs. I said, you do realize I got this dog during the pandemic. So you're telling me to do what the CDC is telling me not to do, which is social distance. But yet you want me to socialize this dog. She was like, I understand that it's hard, but you need to get out there. You need to socialize him. I said, why do I need to socialize him? She said, so when people come over your house, you don't have to put your dog up. I said, no, I put my dog up out of respect for the people that are coming over to my house. I don't want them to have dog fur on them. First of all, they coming to see me, not my dog. And if they coming to see my dog, then they'll verbalize that like, hey, man, I'm coming over to see the dog. And I'll still put him up. But then when he get there or she get there, then I will let him out. But I always put my dog up when I have company, because I don't want them jumping all over the company. Or even if he's trained enough where he doesn't jump, I'm putting my dog up. What are you guys doing? And what do y'all feel like is like, okay, this is what I'm doing?
So for me, I just say, hey, I have a dog. He's not going to bite you. I'm not putting him up. Unless you're terrified of dogs and you have some kind of like, you've been attacked by a dog when you're younger or something, or you ask me to put him up, I'm not putting him up, because I know how my dog is. My dog loves people. He wants to be around people. So I'm going to leave him out. You get to enjoy it. You get the dog hair all over your clothes, just like I do. And the kids love him. So
you're really putting stress on this relationship, Gary. You really putting stress on this relationship.
Well, and I'm going to use you for example. You always said you never wanted your dog, the most recent one that passed away, to be around me because he's aggressive. Right. But whenever the other dog passed away and he was just him, he was a baby in my lap when the first time you ever let him around me, and you were really freaked out. Now, towards the end, when he couldn't really see or hear anything, he got back to a little aggressive because he doesn't know what's there. So I can understand that. But like, I can understand you're hesitant on multiple situations because you just never know. But like,
never know.
You never know. But like, that's with my dog. My only worry is if a little kid gets in his face, I'll make sure, hey, we can't have little kids in his face hitting in his face, because then he's going to think it's playing, because that's how I play. I play rough with my dog. He plays rough with me. So I don't want him to be that way with kids. So I do monitor him more. If my little cousin or my little nephews are here, I'll monitor and stuff like that and make sure he's good. But he usually is, because he sees everybody's paying attention. He knows, okay, these are little, I'm going to be all right with you. I'm not going to play with them as much. But he might go play with their toys. That'd be another story.
What you got, Tom?
Yeah, to me, I think it depends on the size of the company, aka is it a child or baby going to be coming over, or is it like me or Gary coming over? Because it's like, if it's one of us and we're dog people, then fine, leave the dog. And the other thing depends on to me is if the dog itself is used to being around people. So if you have a dog that's friendly and loves people and can be around and not jumping up on everybody and trying to get in the way, then to me, I don't see a problem with leaving them out. If they're a dog that, maybe might be a little rambunctious and wants to jump all over the place and might make somebody uncomfortable, then okay, yeah, put them away while their company's here. I think it just depends on. I think it's one of those depends on the dog, and then it depends on who's coming over and how they feel about it. Because if somebody's coming over that loves dogs, they're gonna want to see your dog. They don't want you to put the dog away. So
That's insane to me. Both of you guys are insane to me and are complete assholes and don't give any respect or courtesy to your company. Because if I'm coming, like, so say I'm coming over to your house, Gary, or Tom, I'm coming over to your house. We getting ready to go to the club and your dog out. Like, I don't want your dog hair all over me. I'm not going to sit down because I know, one, that you don't want to put your dog up. I got a friend right now. I'm not going over his house because he refused to put his dogs up. He was like, bro, my dogs don't bite. And he got like a pack of dogs. And I'm like, nah, I'm not coming over your house, bro. He was like, why? I was like, bro, I don't know your dogs. And you won't put them up. He was like, bro, my dogs are friendly. They're social. I said, the first thing people that have dogs that don't bite, that are social, say when that dog bites you is, what did you do to my dog? Like, I ain't got to do nothing to your dog for him to want to bite me. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not even gonna get you. We ain't gonna even get to that conversation. Just put your damn dogs up, bro. I know your
I'm gonna
dog
call
here.
D'Angelo out. He did not tell me to put my dog up when his
I
kids
didn't
and
because
family came for the first time.
right, because your dogs, when you had them here, they was puppies. I played with them.
Correct.
So I knew your dogs when they were puppies, and I continue to see them even when we were here. And they saw your dogs when you was living in Cleveland. So it was cool. But then also one of your dogs, and I'm not really sure which one it was, Cairo or
Cairo.
if it was now, but humped my youngest daughter, and I'm like, dude, get your and like
Cairo.
she didn't know what he was doing. In her mind, he was biting her, and all he was trying to do was hump her leg. So she didn't get the correlation, so she panicked. I didn't panic. The dog looking at me, he shook. I'm shook, and I'm like, all right. So we had an impasse, and Gary's like over across the room screaming, no, 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 no. And I'm like, he ain't even gonna get up. He just gonna say no. But yeah, but things like that happen. So had Gary not been in there, and she would have screamed, panicked, and everything would have been going on. Like, he obviously seen it and was like, yo, he just trying to hump your leg. Ease me, because I'm like, oh, okay, he just trying to hump a leg. But at the time when it happened, I'm like, oh, he's trying to bite her. Because again, dogs can't talk. So I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. So he ended up putting the dog up in his room. He didn't actually put him up. He put him in his room, and he was like, yeah, you just tell him this, and he won't bother you. And from that point on, we didn't have any more issues. But again, I was watching him because I'm just like, man, but had it escalated like that, Gary not been in there, and I would have did something to Gary's dog, he would have been like, well, what did you do to him? Because he's never acted like that before. And in my mind, hell, he trying to bite my daughter. Like, he was just trying to bite her. And Gary would have been like, bro, you just wanted to hit my dog. You just wanted to hit my dog. But to keep confusion down like that, if you just put your dog up when you have company, you would never have those issues. You never had those issues.
Well,
you don't have to worry about them making a bad decision.
So I think I'm somewhat right, somewhat wrong, because I said, if the person wants me to put the dog up, I will.
Right.
If they ask, if they don't, if they're fine with dogs, then I'm gonna leave them out.
You are lying, Gary. I could tell you to put your dog up. You was like, well, shit,
you've already
don't
been
come
around my dogs. You're good now.
You are lying, bro.
I bet you don't put up the puppy when I come.
Well, no, because he's a puppy.
Yeah,
you know
okay.
Like, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, we walking around now with a leash on the dog in the house because we don't want him to just run around and have access to the full house, because that's obviously, from what I've been told, that maximizes them either pooping or peeing in the house. So as long as they stay in a certain radius around you're able to watch them, and you ain't got to be up all on pins and needles trying to where they are, what they doing, where they've gone. They're right there with you, and that's been interesting all in itself, because back in the days, if I'd have disciplined like I used to, I'd have had him trained in like 2 days.
So Thyme is very telling. He said that he has to have his dog on a leash around his house. How big is his house?
Right.
He's worried about the dog getting going all over. That's crazy to me.
We ain't getting into that. All I'm saying is, it's not big at all. It's not big at all. It's a normal size house. I can't believe you did that. You an asshole, Gary. You an asshole. What you got, Ty?
You always knew you were rich, D'Angelo.
Well, he hides it really well.
This is one of the things I wanted to ask coming out this weekend, because Valentine's Day was Sunday, and my question for you guys is, Are flowers the most overrated gift of all time?
Yes.
Because well, that was easy.
Yeah,
Because to me,
100%.
Yes, but to most women, no.
right?
But it's ridiculous to me. They're gonna die anyway. It's not like
Yes,
they're gonna plant a
that's the
fucking
thing.
tree out of the flowers that I'm giving them. So I read a comment, bro,
Uh,
and I don't know who said it. They were saying if you think a flower is beautiful, don't disturb it, don't pick it because you'll kill it.
mhm.
So why did we get into the habit of picking these gorgeous flowers, knowing that the end result is going to be them dying? It's fascinating to me. And what's
Yeah.
crazy is it's those vegans that are out there that's really like
Yeah. We won't touch that one yet.
yeah, we ain't
No,
gonna
but
touch that one.
the reason
Touch
I
that
thought
one.
about that is because you see all these pictures going up of like roses and all these huge flower arrangements, and I know my neighbors from back home are going to kill me because they actually own the local florist back in North Carolina. But um, I'm just thinking like those things, like whenever you go to like watch and see how much those things cost, or like weddings, the flowers cost a ton of money at weddings, and it's like I know they're pretty and they're beautiful. So I asked Cynthia, I was like, so do you like flowers? Do you want flowers? Is that because I was like to her, I said to her, I was like, it seems to me like I could get you a more practical gift that you could use for longer than just look. She goes, well, I do agree with you that they're not practical and I would rather have something else. But I like flowers, but not on like Valentine's Day. I was like, well, what do you mean? She goes, well, I like flowers on a day whenever it's random and no one told you, hey, this is a day you should buy flowers for someone, or like saying, hey, I was just thinking of you, so here's flowers. And she goes, and actually, I would actually appreciate it more if you went and picked them yourself and then gave me that as opposed to a prearranged, pre-store bought flowers. I was like, well, okay. So instead of flowers, I bought her some stocks. So we'll see how that goes this year.
I
And
got
it's
a
so,
hot take for you.
I got a
uh-oh.
hot take for you too, but go ahead, Gary. I'll let you go because you start. I got a
Well, I
hot
don't
take.
know if time was finished.
Well, yeah, I was going
Uh,
to ask you because the question I was going to ask you is so when I told her, I was like, well, this is my idea. Let's do this. She was like, all right, yeah, that's a good idea because we're trying to invest in our future anyways. So she bought me some stock and I bought her some stock. And she goes, so what's the rules on these stocks? I was like, what do you mean? I said, I'll hold this stock and depending on how it does, if you ever want to sell it off, you can sell it and have it. She goes, yeah, but what if your stock does really good and my stock doesn't do good? And then you're going to get all that money. I was like, well, that's. I said, well, that's my stock at this point. She goes, no, but I bought it for you, so I think we should split it. I was like, what? That's not the same thing. I said, it's for me. Then I should be able to do what I want with it. She's like, well, no, because if you get lucky and yours hit, then I want to split it. So
So,
my
so I
question,
guess
wow.
so. My question to that is, so what about if somebody buys somebody a wedding ring and they get divorced? They're not giving the ring back,
uh,
right?
Oh, that's a good one, Gary. That's
Because
a good
as the thing,
one.
if you think you should share the stock, well, then I think we should share the ring.
Yeah,
If that's
I
the
there's
need to get
case.
that back. Like I still got payments and shit I got to put on that. Let me get that
there's
back. Like
actual court cases about engagement rings as to who the ring belongs to. We'll get into that another day. But yeah, there's like
yeah.
actual, like we read about it in law school, actual cases over rings and gifts and stuff like that.
So that was a nice segue for me to my hot take. I think diamonds are overrated. I prefer rubies, sapphires, the colored stones versus a diamond.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I think diamonds are overrated.
Well, I
What
agree
I
the
with
think
that.
hell is wrong
I
with you?
I
that
thought
all
about
the
that.
people care about is they shine and because it's supposed to be the best thing. I like the colors. I like the colors that are in ruby, sapphire, opals. I think those are so much better to me because I like color. I don't want just a plain diamond personally.
Right.
You
That's
should
my
have said
hot
I
take.
got a foolish take. It shouldn't have been a
Oh,
hot
nah.
take, Gary.
Oh,
It should have been a
boy.
foolish take. So here's my hot take. I told my wife for Valentine's Day, I said you can either get a day or you can get the 364. Which one do you want? And she was like, what are you talking about? I said, well, if you waiting on Valentine's Day, February 14th, for me to show you that I love you, take you out to dinner and swoon you with flowers and chocolates and all of that, I'll give you that day if that's what you want. But the other 364 gonna be rough. You're gonna really appreciate the 14th of February. You're gonna really appreciate it. I said, or we could do this 364. We could just go about our day like, you know what I'm saying? February 14th is every day. And she chose the 364. And I was like, you know what? I really appreciate that because, February 14th is a man-made holiday. I shouldn't have to show you on this particular day that I love you. You should feel that year round. So if you're
I
not feeling
agree.
that year round anyway, then you got issues. You got issues within either your marriage or your relationship or whatever ship you got floating is rocky. The waters are rocky as hell if February 14th means something to either that person or the other person, because that means that there's a lot of love lost in the other 364.
Right.
That's my hot.
That's why I told Cynthia, I said, why we gotta do it on one day? I said, Usher said it the right way and you got it bad. He was talking about flowers, cars, and candy. You can have it all just cause. He said he does it just cause. He does it just cause. Usher said he don't need a special day to do the flowers, cars, and candy because you got it bad. You doing it every day, all day, 365.
Absolutely.
Like you said, D. Now, D'Angelo, I know you guys. Listen here, we've talked about stuff a lot as far as sports. And do y'all want to transition to the winningest athlete ever now? Is that what you want to do? Or
No. We're going
Okay.
Gorilla Glue. I want to hear Gary
Yeah,
Gorilla
that's-
Glue.
I
true.
got a question about the Gorilla Glue. So
Yeah.
obviously the Gorilla Glue girl took
I don't know the full
nation-
story, Gary.
took the nation by storm
golly.
because she thought putting Gorilla Glue in her hair to hold her hair down was a smart idea. When on the label it says when Gorilla Glue dries, it's like cement. And I will give her
Hold up.
credit.
Is it anywhere on the package or
Do
the
not
label
put on
that says
skin,
do not put
do
in
not
your hair?
put in your eyes. Don't let it touch your skin is what you're not supposed to do. Your hair
Okay,
is on
so
your
the
skin.
hair is still
Yes.
okay. As long as I don't get it on my scalp, I'm good. So okay,
Yeah.
see where we
And
going
then
with this.
and so she put in there, struggled for a month trying to figure it all out, trying to get it all off. Went to the hospital. They gave her this stuff to do. She said, well, you can do it. It's going to take a couple hours. She said, can I do it at home? So I'm more comfortable. Went home, realized it burned, decided not to do it. And then a surgeon out in LA decided to give her free surgery to get rid of it. So she flew out there, was able to get it all out of her hair. But the thing that blew my mind was she was threatening litigation against
Right.
Gorilla Glue
Oh my
for something she did to herself when it's Gorilla Glue. It
If
literally
it's not
says
on the label, hey, if it's
it
not on
says
the label and I
do
do
not
it, you're
let it touch your
responsible for it.
hair.
Yeah, I'm
Not
talking
let it
about
touch
the
your
law.
skin.
I'm talking about the law, Gary. It like if you're protected by what you put on the label and it's not on the label that I don't supposed to do something and I do it, then you're reliable. I mean, you're
Well-
liable for.
Well,
Not
D,
true.
did you hear? Gary? Did you mention why she used Gorilla Glue? I couldn't.
Because I guess there's some other stuff called
It's
Gorilla.
called Got to Be Glue. So Got to Be Glue is a hair product, and so she was out of Got to Be Glue,
And
so
thought Gorilla Glue was the same
Gorilla
thing.
Glue was the same thing, just a different name brand. I'm like,
So,
Lord.
So, but again, you
got a
said if it's
case.
not on the label, they're responsible. I don't agree because there's a lot of stuff on medicine and stuff that's not on the label that they're not responsible if you get side effects because they say there's side effects and they don't tell you what's in it, but because it's not on the label, but they're not liable because you put it in your body.
Bro, have you not seen all these commercials that they have for certain medicines and certain like tobacco products and all that?
Correct.
Like they give you 30 seconds. Like, so maybe it's a 30-second commercial. Well, the last 2 seconds are the most important 2 seconds because they give you the side effects. But they roll through them so fast that you can't hear them. And for that 2 seconds, the person that's saying it is like so fast, you just like, damn, is that Eminem rapping to Godzilla? Like, damn, like why is it so
Right, yeah.
fast? And you can't understand what they're saying until you like either slow it down. But they cover basically all angles. Gorilla Glue didn't do that. There's a reason why
They said do not let it have come in contact with your skin. Your hair is your skin. It is going to touch your scalp.
it ain't what you know, is what you can prove, Gary. So if I can
That's
prove
proof.
in the court of law, dude, I've seen so many cases come out of LA that I thought was stupid. Like, man, they're not gonna win any money, and they come back with millions of dollars in money because of them not putting what they were supposed to put on the label. So I think she has a lot. They're liable. I think they're liable because it wasn't on the label.
I disagree. It's
As
literally
stupid
called
as she,
Gorilla Glue.
as stupid as she sound, like I'll give you a case in point. You know the little packets that come in beef jerky. It says do not eat, do not swallow, do not right. Imagine if they didn't put that on there. If they didn't put that on there and somebody ate it and they got sick, then they could
It
get
says
sued.
do not eat. It doesn't tell you why.
It doesn't have to tell you why. If it tell you not to do it, then they cover. Then they're covered. Do not eat, do not swallow, do not like they tell you.
Do
you
not
just like, this stupid.
Come in contact with your skin.
Right.
You put it on your hair, it's coming in your skin.
It doesn't necessarily have to. If I got long hair and it's in the ponytail, the part that's in the ponytail could not necessarily
Did you see
come in
her?
contact.
Did you think it was not going to touch her skin with the way her hair was pushed back? No chance.
Okay, so now this is what I'm arguing in the court now. I'm not arguing about my skin. I'm arguing about my hair because you told me you didn't say anything about not putting it in my hair. Now when Gorilla Glue come out now, it's gonna say don't put it in your hair.
I still don't think it's going to.
What you want to bet? That's the only way they can cover themselves.
We're gonna find out.
Because they dodged the bullet with this lawsuit.
Well, she decided not to do it, so I'll give her credit for that.
Yeah, but she got $20,000 in GoFundMe money though.
Which that was my next question. Who is donating her this money, and who feels sorry for her that she did it to herself? I have no remorse if you do something to yourself like that. Wow, when it literally says on the thing, it turns into cement when dry. Right. If you're gonna put that in your head, that's on you. I'm sorry, because there was another guy in Louisiana who thought it was all a joke, and he did the same thing with a red Solo cup, and it went around his lips. They had to cut off a part of his lip to get it off. Because he didn't believe it. It literally says it turns into cement. If you do that to yourself, I do not feel remorse for you. I'm sorry. So who is donating $20,000 to help when somebody did it themselves? I just don't understand that.
And because honestly, to your point about the hair versus skin, it's not the Gorilla Glue being in the hair that's the bad part. It's about it hitting the scalp because you know you can cut your hair off. It's not a big deal.
Right.
Like,
but she couldn't cut her hair because it was attached to the skin.
Exactly.
Right. So you argue not the fact that it touched your skin. You argue the fact that it messed up your hair. You still got an argument because it's not on the container. There's been a lot of stuff that has come out about different products, even us growing up with toys and stuff like that, where they recall strollers because there's a mechanism in the back that's clipped on that can come unclipped when you do certain things, when you move a car seat or if you was to hit it with your hand, that was causing maybe babies to slip out of the car seat. Or, them recalling Bumbo because, kids were choking on a little small piece that the kid wasn't even supposed to find that was really dug down in there, but it was something that maybe the parents knocked off or something and they end up swallowing or getting sick or whatever the case may be. But these companies are liable for that, which in my mind is the same stupidity as this girl putting the stuff in her hair, but nobody bats an eye at that.
So I feel like if something like this happens, I feel like any judge, if you walked in there and said, oh, we're going to sue because I put glue in my hair and you tried to sue, I feel like the judge should just laugh at you and say, dismiss. This is a waste of taxpayer money because that's outrageous. Well, but again, I give her credit because she dropped it and she said she's donating the GoFundMe money to charity. So I'll give her credit. She's not taking money because I know people were all over thinking she was doing this for publicity. So I'll give her 100% credit that she's donating the money and she dropped the litigation because she realized that's not a good look. Because then when you start litigation for that, now it really does look like you're trying to do it for money, and that's all you care about.
Okay, so
that's perception.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what this is like, and this is me, and I can only talk about me. I'm not talking about everybody else. I'm talking about me, D'Angelo Williams. This is how I feel about this case. Her putting Gorilla Glue in her hair is the same to me as somebody cliff diving, missing the ocean and hitting themselves on the cliff and dying. Or mountain climbers, those free climbers that climb these mountains and stuff with no safety harness and all that, right. And then they fall to their death, and people are like, "Dang, that was awful. He's gone too soon." And I'm just like, "Dude, that's stupid as hell. That's the equivalent to me." I
don't disagree with you.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of putting Gorilla Glue in your hair and then asking for somebody to like help you, save you. Let's go to surgery. Like Don't do dumb shit. If you do stupid shit, you win stupid prizes.
I would agree with you on that one.
That's all I'm saying. That's why I say she has somewhat of a case because it's not on the packaging. Because it's not on the packaging, then I'm no longer liable. You are. And
I feel like you're arguing against yourself right now, D'Angelo. You just said that because the thing is, when you jump off a cliff, you know that jumping off a cliff, something could go wrong, you can die. If you're saying she has a case because she wouldn't have known she can't put in her hair, then those are two different categories.
No, it's the same category because when you jump off that cliff, you're not looking to hit the bottom. You are solely thinking about
possibility.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. It's a possibility with anything. Getting in the car is a possibility you can have an accident.
But I'm saying you said that it didn't have don't put in your hair on the thing. So you're saying
no. What I'm saying,
that put in her hair, there's a possibility something could go wrong because they didn't put it on the packaging.
Yes, agreed. That's what I'm saying. There's a possibility for anything to go wrong with any product that you have.
Yeah,
but the possibility, but you're not looking for that. This goes along when we had the conversation about the cop that was standing outside of the school shooting. There was a active shooter inside, and a lot of people were upset that the cop didn't run back in there. And he was like, "Look, I got a family. I didn't know where he was," and everybody was like, "Dude, that's your job. You signed up for that." And he was like, "Nah, I didn't sign up for this, but I did sign up to protect the people." Like there's a possibility that this can happen. That's all I'm saying. That the possibility for something to go wrong when you're doing right. There's a possibility in any situation. I'm saying that I look at this case as her putting a Gorilla Glue in her head is like somebody that's base jumping or somebody that's cliff climbing with no safety apparatus.
Well, when you do that, you know what the possibilities are. You're saying if she has a case, then in fact she would not have known that the hair could have got her in trouble because you say it's not in the packaging. Well, when you go cliff diving, you know that you could dive off the cliff and hit the bottom. Yeah,
you've done it, but you've done it so many times that you've convinced yourself that it's not going to happen. Right, that's the thing. When you erase the possibility,
Gorilla Glue in her hair so many times, and then this one time it goes wrong. Every single time you put Gorilla Glue on your head, it's going to go wrong.
So my biggest thing with your argument, D, is the problem is you can't expect a company to put everything that could go wrong if you misuse the product on every label, because then the labels could be outrageously like Coke, for example. There's no labels. What if I poured this in my eye and my eye reacted weird? It doesn't say don't pour an eye. I don't have a case.
You got a case.
You got a case. I don't believe that.
You got a case.
Because you can't put that on every product. You can't cover for people's stupidity on things on every product. It's just impossible because there's too many things people could do with any product and make it a bad way. I just think it's impossible for it. That's where I think rationality has to come in.
It's like saying, don't put Gorilla Glue on your toilet seat and sit down and then use it to wipe your butt.
And then you can't put that on there.
So this is why I have a problem with it.
Don't use Gorilla Glue as toilet paper. You can't put that on there.
This is why I have a problem with it, because there's an opioid problem in the world right now. And on the opioids, on painkillers and all of that, it says all the side effects and not what to do, but it's still killing people. And people are still taking these companies to court and winning big money, even with them saying in the description or in the thing, like the warning labels, hey, this, and they're still going to court and they're still losing money. So if that's the case, then that could be said for anything, Gary. Anything.
I just don't think they have a case with this. Which I think that's why she dropped litigation too. I think because lawyers told her you're not going to have a chance with it. You're just going to waste money.
Right. If so, I'm going to go around to every warning label, read what's on there, figure out how they're not warned me about something, and then do that. Get hurt, and then sue the crap out of them because it wasn't on their warning label. Even though common sense would tell you this is not what you should do. You know what I'm saying? It's just
I get you. I don't believe in common sense, but I totally get what you're saying. Because
I think a lot of people don't have common sense.
That's what I'm saying. And because they don't have common sense, that's why I don't believe in it. Because what's common to you may not be common to me.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I don't believe it.
Average level of intelligence that most courts will take into account. But I see what you're saying.
So I'll give you a case in point. I'll give you something that's really interesting. So my wife, she was making I think she was making a pie or something like that, right? and we didn't have any eggs. And I was like, well, how you gonna make that? It was a cake. I was like, well, how you gonna make that? She was like, oh, I can use apples.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, what? I was like, so hold up, eggs and apples, completely different, but yet they still get the job done. So how
Right.
many other products out there in this world are like that, where you probably use something that necessarily doesn't cause for it, but you use it because that's what you used to either cooking with, or this is used to what you used to dealing with, whether it's, witch hazel or whatever medicine that you use, BC powder, whatever you used to using that's common for you may not be common for me. So with that being said, like what you use in the substitute, maybe on the package is telling you not to do it, but because you've done it so much, you know that it's not going to harm you the way that the package say it is. So you
I got a very common example for you.
You get what I'm saying? Give me that.
Q-tips.
Q-tips. Okay.
They are technically not supposed to be used to swab in your ears and get wax like that. That's like literally one of their warnings is don't do that. But that's how people use them all the time.
100%. And that's the only point that I'm making right there, Gary, is because of things like that, I can see her using the Gorilla Glue, not knowing, like, even though it says it's like concrete on the pack, it probably said it was like concrete on the pack she was using for the go-go gel that she was using. Like concrete. It probably said the same thing.
Holes like concrete.
That's what I'm saying. Holes like concrete, and then find out like, no, this really holds like concrete.
I think in this case we need to be looking at got to be glue for answers.
Well, I think
that's what
if you go into that though, literally it takes 30 seconds to Google, should I put Gorilla Glue in my hair? It literally takes 20 seconds, and it's going to say, hell no. That's all you need to do before you use it. Any product. Should I do this in my face, hair, wherever you want to put it? It's going to tell you yes or no. That's all you need.
I bet somebody made one of those websites. You know how they have those websites where it says, did Carolina beat Duke today? And it's like, did Carolina beat Duke.com? And when you go to it, if they beat them, it just says yes. So I bet somebody made one of those websites. Should I use Gorilla Glue in my hair? It's going to say, hell no.
But there's things like that where you can substitute stuff that may be harmful, but in moderation is not as harmful as it appears to be. That's all I'm saying. That's the only reason why I feel like she has a case.
I disagree, but it's all good. Hey, we're allowed to have different opinions.
And I know we're about to have a different opinion.
Yes, we are.
Next topic. Now, D, you're the one that brought it up, so do you want to introduce it? Or
I can introduce it. I can introduce it. Yeah. Okay. So after the Super Bowl, everybody was talking about how great Tom Brady is in terms of winning the 7 championship and him having more.
Real quick, before we dive into this, did y'all see that the daughter of the person who made the Lombardi Trophy asked Tom Brady for an apology because him tossing the Lombardi Trophy?
I saw that.
Was a what was the word she did? It was an embarrassment to her family.
She didn't sleep for 2 days. No. There's so many other things that have happened with those trophies that she doesn't even know about.
So it's crazy. It's as crazy as it sounds, bro. As crazy as it sounds. I'm not on her side, but I also can understand her side. And this is why I say I can understand her side. Because if she takes as much pride in her work as a lot of other people should, then she should feel that way. Huh?
Her dad built it, not her.
Right.
Oh, okay. So that's rough.
Yeah.
Is her dad
it's more
dead,
his
though?
legacy.
Is he dead? Is this sentimental?
I think it's
to
more
her?
of his legacy is the reason why she says it's not being
I
shared.
saw
It was a great throw, though. Like, it wasn't like they dropped it. They dropped it.
She didn't get mad when Gronk dropped them on the stage a couple years ago.
Baseball bat, remember, to hit stuff. No, but this is what I think was funny. 2 of the funniest ones I responded were, one, obviously she doesn't know Tom Brady doesn't miss throws, and then my favorite one was, well, it's about to be named the Tom Brady Trophy in a few years, so get over it.
Yeah. So he wins his 7th one, and everybody was talking about like him being the greatest winner of all time. And I saw a meme where it's like, hey, where Michael Jordan's like, you catching up, or you getting there, we're there. And then I saw Bill Russell with his 11 championships, like, hey, you guys are almost there. Keep going. So I came up with the question is, who do you think is the winningest athlete of all time across all sports, male, female, across all sports? Who do you think is the winningest of all time and why?
I want you to go first, D, because it's your question.
Okay, so when I was talking to Gary, and I want to make sure we put his sexism on display. I was talking to Gary. The first name that popped up in my mind was Serena Williams, and he goes, "Tennis is too easy."
I never said tennis was too easy.
You did. You said it's too easy because you said there's men that do that.
Nope. My exact comment was that I think it's harder to win multiple championships in a team sport than it is a single sport.
Right. I was going to say that's one thing.
That was my whole thing.
One thing you should have to break down is team sport versus individual, because with a team sport, it is much harder. And then even then within team sports like basketball, an individual can have way more of an effect than football, because football, there's two sides of the ball that you're
I don't give a damn what y'all talking about. I said winningest. If y'all want to go team, y'all can go team. However y'all want to structure, whatever y'all want.
Give me your player.
So it was a toss up between these two, and I didn't know who I wanted to go with, and I'll tell you why. Michael Phelps won 23 gold medals, 28 total. So Michael Phelps is 100% up there. He started when he was 15 years old. He accomplished all those goals. But this is the one that I have to say will be number one. It'll be Usain Bolt. He had 19 medals in 21 events that he entered. From August 2008 to August 2016, he won 19 gold medals and was never beaten. And I'm saying this. There's a little guy probably in Cambodia. There's probably somebody over in Africa or Egypt or somebody over in South America somewhere or in Canada right now that can be a better basketball player than LeBron James, a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. But there's nobody that's better than Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt, because they're running and competing against people around the world, not just here in America, but in the world, Craig, in the world.
Craig.
So you can't name me better athletes that are winners than Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt. There's nobody else better. Like, it's a mic drop, really. Like, we really don't even have to hear who y'all gonna talk about. But we're gonna do that because this is our podcast and it's y'all time. But Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt, to me, Olympic champions, Olympic gold. They around the world, they've proven it time in and time out. Even at the ripe old age that Usain Bolt was, he was still dominating the competition. Again, there's nobody out there that's more dominant in any sport and has won more than those two guys as it relates to the Olympics. And guess what, Gary? They only come around every 4 years. So I'm gonna let you chew on that. But who you got?
No, I think those are two good choices. But again, like me and Thyme said, I think it's a big difference between individual and team sports. I think team sports is harder to win multiple championships because you got to rely on multiple people. Individual sports, you're relying just on yourself. You could have that outstanding ability. No matter what, you're not losing. This is not going to happen. I don't know necessarily. It makes you a great champion, yes, but I don't know if it makes you the best, because it's harder. I think it's just a lot harder to win with a team atmosphere. So like with individuals like Usain Bolt, he raced the same people year in, year out. So he was already beating them every year. So if he's racing the same exact people, he should win.
Stop it. Don't you diminish what the hell he did.
Who was his biggest rival?
So here's every year. And I really want you to understand this. Because I'm you know what, I'm gonna let y'all go, and then I'm gonna bring it back full circle, and you'll get what I'm saying. I don't want to mess up what I got going on right now. So you tell me who your guy is or girl is, and you tell me who your guy and girl is, or guy or girl time, and why, and then I'm gonna tell you why mine are different. But go ahead.
So no, I like yours, but like I said, it was the same competition you're in. Yes, he had to beat them. He had to do it, and they were the best of the best. I agree with that. It is a great challenge. Same with Phelps, but he's always racing the same people. He kept racing against his own partner, Ryan Lochte. That was his biggest challenge. There wasn't like 14 people or 30
Fucking
other,
disrespect
29
I
other
have to deal with
teams.
on this podcast.
No, I
Man.
I think there was great choices. I just can't make them the winningest of
Well,
all
who you
time.
got, Gary? You still banging my? You know what? You
Of
better have
course.
somebody damn solid. You better have somebody that ain't got
Mine
no
is going to be
holes.
completely different than anything you're going to
Okay, who
think,
you
and
got?
none of you are even going to think this. So my winningest, he is actually a basketball player. It is not Bill Russell. Imagine that. Bill Russell was definitely up there for my thought because he had 13 championships in 15 years, but if you count
Okay, hit
college.
13. Okay.
Well, 13 if you count college. He had 11 NBA, and he
Oh.
had 2 national championships in college. So
Okay.
and that was in a 15-year span. That's amazing. But honestly, I'm going to say Tim Duncan. The reason why, Tim Duncan, he only lost 391 games in his whole NBA career and won 5 championships. That is outrageous. And as a team, he was the focal point on the team. Yes, he had David Robinson for the first championship, but after that, it was just him. Him and Tony Parker having to do everything. And Tony Parker has more losses than Tim Duncan does. So the fact that Tim Duncan only had 391 total losses in his whole NBA career and had 5 championships, to me makes him one of the winningest players of all time because it's a team sport. And I think it's a lot harder because every year teams are going to be hard. He's going against Jordan. He's going against LeBron. He's going against these generational talents and beating them for championships.
Right, but just the fact that Tony Parker has less losses than Tim Duncan, doesn't that kind of like say, okay, well, that's probably not a good measuring stick?
He
Hey,
has more
that's who he
losses
went
than
with,
Tim
Tom.
Duncan.
That's who he went with.
Oh, he has
That's
more.
who
Tony
he went
Parker
with.
has more, and he's played in less games.
Bro, I
Okay.
thought you had some, Gary. You set me up like you had some heat. That shit was trash. What you got,
There's
Tom?
no
What
other
you got?
NBA
Because
player that has that winning percentage. Just saying.
I'm gonna nip all that in the bud. I just hope I'm telling you right now, Tom. I
Well, it's
do
time.
not want to break my. I don't want to break
It's
my computer
time for
screen,
me
bro.
to come
You
through.
better not. I'm telling
And
you
if
right.
we're
Do
talking
not.
about
Don't be
Olympics, we're
predict.
talking about Olympics, and
Oh,
everybody
sorry.
talks.
Tim Duncan also won an Olympic gold too. No big deal.
Everybody talks about how great it is to win gold. Everybody talks about how great it is to win silver. And you know what? Who has won more gold and silver in the NBA than anybody out here? And let's talk about my boy LeBron James, because coming in second should matter. And so to me, Michael Phelps is the most decorated athlete of all time.
Boy, boy, I was literally about to shut it all the way down. I was gonna log off and like not log back on ever again, bro.
No, so here's what I'll say to put it in the context. So like if you're talking about decorated and winningest, like how Michael Phelps did it and how he won, because the thing about swimming is there's so many different events. So there's so many different ways you can win gold medals, and it's still swimming, but yes, it's a different stroke. So like, you know, I give him more credit for that than I would say like Usain Bolt, because Usain, all you're doing is pretty much running straight. Because you have like people that are in decathlon. Usain Bolt probably wouldn't have been able to win a decathlon because he's fast. Like he's just super fast, which is good. But some of these other sports, being fast is only one facet of being good. Like you can't just be fast and be good in the NBA. Ask Oakland Raiders wide receivers for the last 15 years. You can't just be fast and be good in the NBA. You can't just be fast and be good in hockey. So it's like, yes, that is a very big feat to be able to win that many races in a row. But that's all he is fast. At least with Michael Phelps, he had different strokes. There were some team aspects too. I know that Usain Bolt won some like team medleys, some 4x100s, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like at least with Michael Phelps, he had to switch it up and do different strokes in order to be on top of the swimming world. But all that to say is, it's hard for me to say that somebody that's a swimmer or a track athlete is the best. Even tennis, even though I love tennis, I respect tennis players. But as far as the player pool of people that are coming into those sports, they are not as large as football, soccer, basketball, baseball, because there are just less people that want to play those sports. And so it's easier, in my opinion, to dominate one of those sports because you have less competition, kind of like what Gary brought up earlier. So if you like putting a gun to my head and say you have to choose somebody that's dominated their sport, I would go with Michael Phelps. But to me, it doesn't feel right saying that they're the best athlete of all time.
That's not what we're saying.
Winningest,
That's not what we're saying.
winningest.
We said winningest. We said winningest. Don't
Winningest.
change this conversation. We
So
said
winningest.
winningest.
Or even winningest athlete because they're the winningest in their sport, right? But their competition has been, very slim. Like compared to the amount of people that, try to play basketball.
You've been very disrespectful, Tom. You've been disrespectful as hell.
How many rec swimming leagues are there around the country?
I don't think there's any of those. I don't think there's any rec track leagues.
Well,
either.
you don't know that though. You don't know that. You don't know that at all, Tom.
Hey, guys, I'm trying to. Hey, y'all want to join the church league swimming team with me? We really need somebody on this breaststroke this year, Gary. We lost our breaststroker last year. We really need somebody to come in here. Come on. Come on.
So this is why it's tough for me to pick somebody on the team. Because every year there's somebody when it started with Magic was the best player to ever play. Then Wilt Chamberlain came, then LeBron James, then Kobe Bryant, then Michael Jordan. There's always somebody that's next. And then, now it's Steph Curry. Like, there's always somebody
now
next.
It's still LeBron.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, when you think of swimming, there's Michael Phelps. There's nobody else. When you think of running, you think of Usain Bolt. There's nobody else. When I say nobody else, I mean there'll never be anybody else that come around that'll be a Michael Phelps. There'll never be another Usain Bolt. But there's always going to be another LeBron James.
I don't think that's
Michael Jordan. There's going to be another Tim Duncan. There's going to be another AD. It's going to always Kevin Durant. It's going to always be another one of those. It's going to always be another one of those. But there'll never be another Michael Phelps. There'll never be another Tiger Woods. There'll never be a Serena Williams. There'll never be these athletes that I'm talking about.
I'm about to say, because you got to think, Jack
You just named two that aren't even the best in the sport.
What?
Yeah.
You said Serena Williams not the best in her sport?
She is not the winningest. No.
What?
If you want to get it correct, she is not the winningest. I'm just being. That's facts of stats. I can call it out if you want.
Unbelievable. But Tim Duncan isn't either. But
no, he has the highest winning percentage of any NBA player.
All right.
So, but part of that is
my whole point. My whole point is
let me
that
talk about Tim Duncan real quick.
My whole point is that these team players that you speak of, like Tom Brady and all of these guys that have won a lot, they raised the bar. I'm talking about Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt being the bar. That's the difference.
Right, but the thing about that is there are going to be I don't know who the Michael Phelps before Michael Phelps was, but there was a greatest swimmer of all time before.
Man, we never heard of them damn swimmers. Stop it, Tom.
Right.
Stop it. I wasn't even into swimming.
Right.
I wasn't into gymnastics until Gabby Douglas, and then Simone Biles took over then.
Right, and before that there was somebody else. What I'm saying is
you don't know who it was.
Right, because I don't pay attention to those sports, but we pay attention to basketball and football. That's why we know who this is the next.
We do.
This is next so-and-so. If you tell me that there's going to be a next Tom Brady, I'll be shocked. And that's because, for me, football is such a team sport. And so the fact that one individual that plays the most important position was able to win 7 titles, that's crazy.
Tom Brady's not even the best quarterback in the league, bro.
Right, I agree.
Since Gary's going to hit me with the Serena Williams, he's not even a winningest.
I agree. He's not.
Right. But this is what I don't understand. And I'm glad that we got to this topic. And I know we weren't going to get on this topic, which are people like you, Gary, and people like Tom. You play this sport, football, to win championships. Tom Brady has done that. So for you to be disrespectful, you, Gary, especially, and you, Tom, because you just want to be an asshole, to say that Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback to him, to say Peyton Manning is a better quarterback to him, to say Joe Montana, and that's my quarterback. I'm a 49er fan. Is better than him. You play this game to win championships. Because if that's the case, Robert Horry, he's better than LeBron James because he has more championships than LeBron James. Well, so I just want to make sure that you understand that Tom Brady is truly the GOAT. I'm giving him the respect because he took a team that was on the cusp of making the playoffs and he won a Super Bowl. Granted, he went out there and handpicked the guys that he wanted to pick. But he called the offense. He was the offensive coordinator. He was the head coach of this offense. He takes guys and held them accountable. He did all the things that was tangible enough to get all his guys on one accord and get them to the Super Bowl. And that's honorable. I have to give him that. He is truly the GOAT as it relates to playing football.
So is Jordan the GOAT
of the NBA?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it's just going to destroy your argument if you say
personal preference.
Yeah.
It's personal preference, man. But I'm a Bill Russell fan. I'm a Bill Russell fan.
I agree. That's what I was saying. It's going to destroy because if you say Jordan's the GOAT, Bill Russell should be in that argument you're just saying. You can still be the GOAT and he's at the end of his career. So there could be players that are better than him playing right now, but he is still the GOAT. That could definitely
greatest of all time. Just not. He doesn't necessarily have to be the best quarterback.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now, in any generation, and this is my hot take, and I don't give a damn how Time feel. I don't care how you feel, Gary. But in any NBA league, and I'm being honest, whether it's Jordan in his era, Wilt Chamberlain in his era, if you put LeBron back in those times with them, he wouldn't make it. He wouldn't dominate. He wouldn't make it. Did you see that punk ass flop he did against my Grizzlies? I don't even talk about that. I don't even want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. You're gonna try to hijack this podcast. I'm not gonna let you do it, Tom. I'm not gonna let you do it. All I'm saying is, yes, I do believe that Michael Jordan is the GOAT. He took the game from Dr. J and some other players, and he put.
Oh dang! Sorry, D. We can't hear you right now. You got muted.
I didn't even. Time used his first mute ever and muted.
Mute.
And just because of that, I'm gonna mute Time.
I'll get. I have control of the mute on the Skype, so neither of them can do it. I can mute them, but let's do this. Hold on.
So you're muted now, Time. So now it's on me because you used your mute. You can't use it anymore. So now I get to talk. Sorry, LeBron is not the GOAT. But again, I was just saying because if you say Jordan's the GOAT, then you can understand why people might not say Brady's not the GOAT. They could not have the most championships and still be better. I do think he is the GOAT, but I don't think he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I think he was the best leader for his team, and they had the best team that year. But I don't think he is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. But obviously, when you get to basketball, it's a whole other thing. When you were talking about the eras, I think when you said if LeBron played, I don't think he could deal with the power. I know he's big body, but if you put Shaq or Jordan in today's era of basketball, they are so much better than they were back then. In a tougher era to play, Shaq would probably be the greatest of all time, no matter what, if he was playing in today's era of basketball. Same with Jordan. If Jordan was playing today's era of basketball, it wouldn't even be like close to him. I just truly don't think so. Like, he did all of that with a hard era, and people still aren't able to do what they were able to do in a harder area in the easier level of basketball. Today's big guys included. People aren't able to do what Wilt Chamberlain did back in those days when basketball was actually harder, with actual played physical defense and actually were allowed to play defense.
It was harder. No, listen, all right, D'Angelo, you got to unmute yourself, by the way. It's not letting me. So what I'm saying is, yes.
You got to hit the mute button.
You have to unmute yourself, D'Angelo. It won't let me do it, even though I muted you. So to say that is ridiculous to me, especially the Wilt Chamberlain era. He was like one of the only people that was above 6'5". And as far as like Shaq coming in, and as far as Shaq coming in today's NBA, yes, he would be just as dominant because he is dominant. I don't think today's game would be as advantageous for Shaq because today big men get taken out to the three-point line all the time. That wasn't Shaq's game. Steph Curry has come in to change the game. Big men have to be able to shoot threes to be able to stay on the court. MJ would still be great. But to say that LeBron would not go – if you go watch some of MJ's games, he's playing against a janitor – like somebody that you see in church down a pew from you passing an offering plate instead of passing a basketball. LeBron would dominate in any of those eras because he is a bigger, better version of Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson dominated in his era of Michael Jordan. So to say that LeBron would not dominate is ridiculous and is hate. I'm not going to let you spew that hate.
So back to what we initially were talking about before I was so rudely muted by the assholes on the show.
I didn't mute you. I muted Time.
I'm getting back to what I was saying. This is what is it that Tom Brady can't do that y'all think that these other quarterbacks that are better than him can do? Because he's made every throw. He's won. You're saying that he's not the best quarterback in the league today, but he just won the damn Super Bowl.
Right, but
so how
if
can
you
you
watch that
say
game, did you watch that game? Patrick Mahomes was clearly the more gifted quarterback in that game.
Here we go with this shit. Here we go with this.
Listen, I think Tom Brady is the GOAT of football. I thought that before this year's championship. I'm on board with that. But if you're talking about like right now today, who's the best quarterback? I don't think it's Tom Brady because he's more limited in what he can do than some of these.
What can he do? Tell me what he can't do.
He can't throw a long ball. He
Create
can't
time in the pocket.
He can't create time in the pocket. He can't run. He can't throw that throw that Patrick Mahomes made sideways that hit his running back in the face. Tom Brady could never do that. Not even today. Not even in his heyday. He couldn't do that.
Okay. All right. Y'all are disrespectful today. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead. This is clearly y'all podcast. I'm gonna let y'all say and do what it is that y'all want to do. But y'all are really spreading hate out here right now. Y'all are.
We both said he is the GOAT. We just said he wasn't the best in the NFL right now at quarterback. That's all.
Name me. So who is?
I think Patrick Mahomes is.
I would say Aaron Rodgers is better right now.
What?
So you got to understand when you say quarterback, they put up better stats, they put up better numbers. It's still a team game. So if your defense lets you down, there's not much you can do as a quarterback. Brady is the GOAT. I will give you that, but I think that he's not the best quarterback. He's 42 years old. He's not the best quarterback still.
Right.
That's just facts.
It's just Father Time is
James not the best player in the NBA because of his age.
I think Kevin Durant's the best.
The thing is, but look at what LeBron. The thing that makes LeBron different is at his age, as an older person in the NBA, he's still developing and becoming better. He's still putting up the same stats.
What games are you watching? Where is he becoming better? What are you talking about?
Angelo, you don't watch basketball. Are you really going to say
I do watch basketball. His numbers that he have right now, you're saying that he's getting better, but the numbers that he have right now didn't surpass the numbers in the highest that he's had in his career. They haven't. They're not. Right. These are not his best numbers. So don't say he's getting better. He's getting back to where he was.
No. His game is getting better.
You have lost.
So last year he averaged the most assists that he's ever had in a season, right?
That's because he's not a strong shooter. That's why he should have. His jumper trash.
No, that's not true. That's just not true.
That is true.
His 3-point percentage is better than Kobe and Michael Jordan, I believe.
Okay.
Michael Jordan played the first 6 years of his career without 3-point shooting.
Okay, all right, that's fine, but he was still shooting.
And it still took LeBron. It still took LeBron 5 extra years to pass him in points.
Why do we let him do this to us, Gary? Why do we let him do this? We fell down that rabbit hole. Just let it go. Let's get you right, Tom. You right.
I'm never going to say he's right when it comes to that. I'm going to say the best two players in the NBA right now are Giannis and Kevin Durant.
See, I hate talking like athletes with him because he always want to throw LeBron James in there, and it's sad.
My question for you, Gary, is why are the Nets not better than they are if KD's the best player in the league and they have James Harden and Kyrie?
Because they have James Harden.
Exactly. When was the last time you saw James?
I actually think Kyrie is the worst in that equation.
Well, I'm just saying, when's the last time you seen James Harden play defense?
LeBron James doesn't win a championship in Cleveland without Kyrie Irving.
Well, yeah.
That's a fact.
Okay.
So what are you saying?
Michael Jordan doesn't win without Scotty. I can say that all day. Facts. Okay, so he's got 0 rings now. LeBron take away his rings with Kyrie. Okay, he's still got 3.
Oh, he said Dwayne Wade, and then he had Chris Bosh, and then he had.
That's what I'm saying. You have your teammates. You can't just say without so and so they wouldn't have a ring.
No, I only said that because you said Kyrie Irving is the worst one. I'm saying he can't be the worst one because LeBron James won a championship with him and solely him in Cleveland. He is the reason why they won that championship. It wasn't because of LeBron James. It was because of Kyrie Irving.
Who won MVP of that series? It was LeBron.
Bro, LeBron.
I will give you one thing that I don't like about LeBron for you, and I'd love to see you defend it. But because LeBron got super butthurt when the people complained that were cheering that he missed a shot when he was in Cleveland, right? He got super mad. He even commented in the media about it. Oh, I had to turn it on because he was a little too happy I missed my shot. Why is he even upset about that? He left Cleveland a second time.
Right.
Like he has no right.
No, that's not your
upset.
line, Tom. You gotta.
That's my thing.
Right
Is he
not
has
what
no
you're supposed
right
to
to
be
be
saying.
upset.
Well, no, here's the thing.
They left him twice.
I think that was more of a joking thing. It's not like he was serious.
I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that. No, he's not
He
getting
brought
that.
it up in the
No.
media.
No, we're
because
not
they
getting
asked
that.
about
No.
it. They asked him about it. So it's like they said, you seem like you turned it up because what happened is he looks at the guy. He obviously had a relationship with this guy because the guy worked with the team while he was there. And so he sees him all excited that LeBron missed his thing. He's like, oh, that's my boys over there cheering. And okay, I got you. See, watch what I'm about to do to you now. But everybody,
his boy, do you know that for a fact?
yeah, he worked for Cleveland while LeBron was there. I can't remember exactly what. Yeah, I read the story. I can't remember exactly what his position was, but he worked with the team because he's worked with the team for a long time. And I think it was more of like a friendly, like, okay, I see you doing that over there, so let me show you what happens when you do that. And that's the thing is that say MJ did that, it was like, oh, I saw the janitor that used to be there cheering against me, and I went and I took that personally. Everybody be like, oh, that's GOAT mentality. That's so funny. You know, he went and took over. People will see LeBron do it, like, oh, he's being petty. It's just a double standard when it comes.
Jordan never had to do that. He did it when players talk crap. There was a difference.
Right. But people say anything like it's any form of trash talk. It doesn't matter who's saying it because people take it as, oh, that's the MJ mentality. Whereas if LeBron does the same thing to somebody, it's like, oh, well, he's being petty and he has no reason to be upset.
If LeBron did it after a trash talk from a player, I'm fine with it. Not from a city that you've left twice. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I know you love Cleveland, Garrett. So that's,
I just think it's very disrespectful the way he did it the first time, then came back and then left him again out to dry. To me, that's just when you all he hypes about is helping his home city,
which he does.
Cleveland, and then he says he's a fan, he's supporting Cleveland football, but then he goes to Dallas Cowboys games because he's actually a Cowboys fan. To me,
there you go.
Here's the fact. My question. What's
Speaking
more important?
Facts,
what's more important, him cheering for the Cleveland Browns or him developing a school that sends children in the Cleveland area to college?
No,
so it's an either or. It's not both.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But then when it comes to him being there, he doesn't want to be there.
No, but I'm saying, but like, what's more realistic? Because he's talking about
right now,
the community. What's more realistic?
No, Tom.
Yeah,
right now is not to have this LeBron James debate.
My thing is with like you said with the thing about the school, that's amazing. But like I said with the team, like he didn't support Cleveland until they actually started winning games. He was a Cowboys fan, so bandwagoning because the team's winning. That's a fact. I played there. He never supported when I was there. Not one time.
Call him a homer call him a bandwagon jumper if you want. But as far as like the city of Cleveland,
we're telling him that. We're telling you that that's what it is, and you argue against it.
No, I'm saying
I 100% love what he does for the kids. That's an amazing thing. But he talks about how much he loves the city, but he's left it twice. That's my problem.
Don't sound like
I can hear that.
That's the only problem. Like, it's a double standard. Oh, I love doing this. I'm going to bring a championship. He brings a championship. Oh, I brought y'all's championship. See, I'm gone. I'm going to go to LA so I can I can have more opportunities with movies and stuff like that and try and get more championships instead of keep trying to do it here. That's my biggest issue when your whole career, you talk about how much you love Cleveland and then you've left them 2 different times.
Right.
That is just disrespectful. In my opinion.
Can we switch gears? Can we not talk about LeBron anymore?
I think we're going to end it after this.
Because you hijacked the podcast, Tom. That's why I don't like talking about athletes, bro. Because you come on here with this LeBron James shit, bro, and you completely ruin the podcast, bro. We get it, man. He's a good athlete. He's a good basketball player. You even think he's great. You think he's the greatest of all times, which numbers don't show you that. We get it. We understand. Who is?
Tim Duncan is the winningest basketball player of all time. No big deal, though.
Regular seasons, so regular season matters all the time now.
He has more wins and
but the thing about that is, Gary,
than LeBron too.
The thing about that is you have to get lucky about the team you're drafting.
Hold on. How many NBA championships do LeBron got?
Oh, sorry. 4. Tim Duncan has 5.
That's what I was gonna say. So he's still better than LeBron.
He has more wins and he's played more games and less losses.
Part
of
that
is regarded as one of the best small forwards of all time. Play the game.
Right, but part of that is how many finals MVPs does Duncan have? It was like 2 or 3? 2? Yeah, 1 or 2. My thing is he wasn't the best.
Does that matter?
Yes, because he wasn't the best player on his team.
Tom Brady won the MVP this year, and he shouldn't have. It should have been Leonard Fournette because Leonard Fournette
I agree.
100% carried the fucking team on his back. And I've been saying
it was
this,
name. It was the
Yep.
name reasoning.
and that's why LeBron James won the MVP. Just like what's his name? What was the player that won MVP for guarding LeBron when they won it?
Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, like why? Why did
Because
he get
that
it?
was the most valuable person, the person that was able to slow LeBron down.
But
He didn't even
LeBron
shut
still
him down.
had
He just
20,
slowed
30
him down.
points though. That's what I'm saying.
So
Exactly.
just to clarify, how many Finals MVPs does LeBron have? Three or four? 4?
He has 4. He's been the Finals MVP for every one.
Tim Duncan has 3.
Right,
Okay.
which is one
So
of
we ain't that far. We ain't that far behind. He plays small forward.
But he's done. LeBron
No,
can get
100%.
He is done. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer too, first ballot. No have any issues.
So will LeBron.
I get it. I'm not what I'm not sitting here trying to tell you is that Tim Duncan is a better basketball player than LeBron James. What I'm telling you is that Tim Duncan is a better winning athlete
Here's the
than
thing.
LeBron James is.
Answer me this. Don't y'all think that the team you get drafted to plays a big part into that? Because LeBron had to be the best player on a Cleveland team for a few years, whereas Tim Duncan has the Admiral.
I'm out, Gary. I'm out. Y'all can finish it. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm out. I can't handle this no more. This LeBron shit making me nauseous. I can't do it.
Is that not true though? He came into a team that was
We
better.
don't want.
You
Can
can
we
say the
just
same
end
thing
it
about
now?
Jordan, and
Just end-
Jordan
like,
won.
You
So
can say the same thing.
Jordan won with nobody either. He won 60 something games with scrubs.
Eventually, but they took losses. The reason that Tim Duncan
he did it in his rookie and second year with scrubs.
right,
too.
but why is MJ not the least losses on that list? It's because he had to play as the best player on his team on bad teams. Tim Duncan came into a good team and didn't have to be the best player.
Why do you keep it on here? We're ready to go, bro. We're ready to go.
Now you're ready. Okay.
Yes.
All right, we'll go ahead and wrap this up.
No,
And,
sorry. Gotta clarify one thing. Jordan actually has less losses than Tim Duncan, but he hasn't played as many games. That's
Right,
why
100%.
Tim Duncan is the winningest, because Jordan had a smaller career because he decided to walk away. He had the death of his father, missed 2 years, and then he walked away for 4 years and then came back. And he still has less wins than Tim Duncan, and he played less years.
When he came back, hold up. When he came back, he didn't win a championship, did he? Gary? You don't tell me he won a championship.
No, I don't think he won a three-peat or nothing after having 2 years off.
Actually,
no way, bro. No way.
He came back for 14 games, sir.
Right, but he didn't win championship.
Well, it was 14 games, of course. I wouldn't expect him to.
Can we end this time? Your conversation's falling
My
on deaf.
first thing I want to say is you're welcome to you guys, because I could have brought LeBron up way earlier, because that's actually the name of my pit bull that I have at home. So when we were talking dogs,
We know that.
I could have brought up LeBron, but I won't. I digress. Anyways, we'll be
do it
back
every time.
We will be back next week with another episode of Cinnamon Sugar Podcast. Don't forget to check out today's podcast on YouTube, and then we will have episode 3 of Serve the Story coming up on Thursday. And if you haven't been checking them out already, go look at me, because it is amazing what the animator was able to do with our stories. It brings stories to life. And, I mean, y'all got anything else to say about it, or you good to go?
Hell no, because you're going to try to hijack it again with this LeBron James.
All right, well, then we'll be back. Don't forget to check us out, and don't forget to keep watching LeBron be great. We are!
You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring D'Angelo Williams and Gary Barnage. You push play and they'll push the limits.